Okay, good day students, welcome to the lesson. Today we're going to particularly solve problems associated with travelling east and west, incorporating time zone changes. So that's important, for example, if you want to travel overseas. I suppose the first important concept is to just remember that if you fly east or west, actually it will take a different time because you'll be travelling at a different speed due to Earth's rotation. So if you are going to be heading east, you're going to have a tailwind. You'll get there quicker. If you're going to head west, you're going to hit the headwinds due to the Coriolis effect, etc. And you'll actually travel at a slower speed. So it's generally faster to head east than west due to headwinds. We're going to have a look at a couple of calculations now. For example, we've got this one. We want to calculate the time of arrival, and we want to calculate that in the local time. So, for example, I've just jumped onto Google this morning and looked up the Qantas times to fly from Brisbane to Perth. So here we have 5 hours and 20 minutes to fly from Brisbane to Perth. So if the flight leaves Brisbane at 7:10 p.m, what is the ETA local time? Well, what we must consider first of all is the leaving time. So our leaving time here is 7:10 p.m. Now the flight takes 5 hours and 20 minutes. So we have to add that on, don't we? So that's a plus. Now there's a time difference of 2 hours. So remember, Perth is what? It's a universal time clock or universal coordinated time plus 8. And Brisbane is plus 10. So there's 2 hours difference. So we need to just change that time difference. Now remember, Brisbane is further east of Perth. So Perth is 2 hours behind Brisbane. So we're going to minus that 2 hours. Now that means we're going to say, what is it? 19:10, that's when we're leaving, plus the 5 hours and 20 minutes. Now because we are heading which direction? We're heading west. We are going back in time. So we are minusing time. So it's essentially what? 3 hours and 20 minutes. Flight time, and that's why you will see here on the flight board, for example, if you go to an airport, that the flight time looks at the local landing time. So that's the estimated time of arrival at the local airport. So the ETA is 22, and that's a minus, 22 hours and 30, or 10 p.m. At night Perth time. Let's have a look at this one. It's going to take 16 hours to fly from Sydney to Los Angeles Airport. So that's LAX, the famous one. You might remember that. Now, if a flight leaves Sydney at 10 a.m, it has an hour stopover in Melbourne, what is the estimated time of arrival? And that's local time. So our leaving time in this case is 10 a.m. So that's what you can see here. 10, that should say a.m. I'll fix that up soon. Okay, flight time of 16 hours. Well, if you have a look here, that's a little bit harder to tell. So it takes 16 hours to fly. Generally, if you're heading back the other direction, it takes 15 hours. What else are we thinking of? A stopover time of an hour. So I've just added a step of complexity here. So we've got a 17-hour trip. However, there's 18 hours difference between Sydney and Los Angeles Airport. Now, this is assuming Australian Eastern Daylight Time. I think that's what it is. So it's an hour ahead of Brisbane because I'm making this PowerPoint up in summer and I'm thinking it's in March. And remember, in April, it would be just 10 hours ahead in line with Queensland. So a 17-hour trip and an 18-hour time difference. Essentially, we're saying the plane lands an hour before it leaves, which is kind of crazy, isn't it? But there's 24 hours in a day, and that works. We should also just think about the average speed. Now, the average speed of a flight of 16 hours from Sydney to Los Angeles, well, we know it took, what, 16 hours. We had the hour layover, for example, but we'll just calculate that. as the 16 hours flight. Now we're just saying, well, there's 12,053 kilometres distance, so and speed equals distance over time. So this is a fairly straightforward one. What we're going to do is just say 12,053 divided by 16 hours, and that'll get us an average of 753 kilometres per hour. So we've just particularly just done some problem solving, travelling east and west with time zones. And that's important for if you're preparing a overseas holiday. When you're happy with the learning, please work on the mastery exercises.